I don't hear our music.
You know,
Well, sing for us, Veronica. Sing for us.
Oh gosh. Okay. You don't know what you don't know. I don't know what to
no.
do with that one. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. It is top of the hour. It is 6 p.m. Um, Eastern Standard Time. It is 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I want to welcome everybody here along with my co-host, Miss Lisa Griggs, Miss Renee Rand. Welcome. Gene, our IT guy who takes care of everything for us, and everybody out there who is joining us. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. We are PowHer Hour 2.0. Don't forget to share, like, follow, and invite. Make sure you hit that QR code and join our Facebook page, which is for ladies only. And you can call in toll free 877. Oh boy, I knew it. That was not good.
And falling down. Yeah, that's funny.
That was Robert.
Difficulties today. Oh my God. Was? Yeah, see? Yeah. I love it. Right?
My
Oh
God.
goodness. You must know we're doing a show. That's funny.
For ladies only. Hold on, I gotta put my my sign back. Oh my
What a day. This is what happens when you go live.
oh well, you know what? That's the fun part about it. Oops. What the heck?
That's right.
All right.
Look, Renee's having a good laugh with all of this.
And because my sign fell down a few minutes before we got on.
Okay. All right.
Today. My phone is in the back seat, actually.
We don't
There you
need that
go.
time with your
All
beautiful
right.
face.
Oh boy, what's that?
I said, we
Okay.
don't need that time with your beautiful face.
Yeah,
You're so
that's
sweet.
right.
All right, we're back to you again. Facebook page, QR code scan. It's for the ladies only. And I'm going to turn it over to Renee for a minute to tell her about so she can tell everybody about our giveaway.
Yes,
Renee, take it away.
we're randomly giving away some goodies, and in fact, we have a recipient. Darlene's on here today. She won our package last week, and it's just fun. You know, we're putting together some self-care and some romance packages, but you have to be live on the show in order to win. So we will be doing live random drawings. So join us for a little self-care package or a little bit of fun to add to your relationships. And hey, and that's even if you're only in a relationship with yourself. You don't have no partner is required for sure. So today we're going to be talking about you don't know what you don't know.
No.
And Veronica, I know you were looking up some different things on that subject. Do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. So today's topic is you don't know what you don't know. And you know, the phrase you don't know what you don't know is it highlights the idea of unknown unknowns. Things we're unaware of even existing. It means that there's a gap in our knowledge that we can't even perceive because we're not aware of its existence. And the concept is related to the Dunning-Kruger effect, which describes the tendency of unskilled individuals who to overestimate their abilities due to lack of awareness and their own incompetence. So, you know, the unknown unknowns, it refers to the aspects of reality that are completely outside of our awareness. We don't know that they exist, and therefore we don't know what we don't know about them. So there's also the Dunning-Kruger effect. We'll talk a little bit about that. There's some implications and there's some examples. So Renee, if you want to jump in and join us on this topic.
Sure. I do. You know, when we're talking about things that we're not sure of or what we don't realize, I think it's a part of self-realization that when we're looking into subjects and we're not sure what the situations or the circumstances or the answers may be, if you're open to everything and closed to nothing, I really feel like, you know, the answers will come to you, the knowledge will be put in your path, a door will open, you'll meet somebody that will put you in touch with the information that you need. And then, of course, there's also AI and Google today. So, I mean, we have more advantages today than we've ever had before of figuring out the things that we really don't have experience with or knowledge about. So, knowledge is endless. And there's so many people out there that can share their information. I know one of my things is I love to share things that help people move forward in their lives, whether it's a product or a concept or just putting them in the thought path, like perfect, fantastic, or awesome, or what you focus on expands. People don't know what they don't know about a situation because nobody's introduced it to them yet.
Right.
So, we have the opportunity to share great information with a lot of people. And I know everybody that's on here today has been in that position, either
Mhm.
are now or have been in the past or will be in the future. So I really think when we step forward and share what we know and share our knowledge, I feel like 70 years of experience has helped me a great deal be able to open the doors for other people around me and really be able to make a difference. And that comes back to you in different ways. Lots of times you don't realize it at the time, and then somebody will step up and maybe say a key phrase
Mhm.
that you say all the time and say, oh, they were really paying attention, they were actually listening and learning something that I put in their path years before. And Veronica's a walking billboard for that. I mean, from all the things that we've done together and experienced together over the years, I feel like her words coming out of her mouth are things that we shared many, many years ago that she still uses in the concepts to bring everything together and into fruition. So it makes it exciting to know that if you don't have the information or the knowledge right at this second, it's only a step away. Either asking someone or Googling something or asking AI for GP, whatever it is, chat to pull up some information for you and be able to move forward. Pick up a book, watch a series, do a documentary, learn something new. I'm taking a coaching class this week that I saw on Facebook of a gal that I've never met. And I listened to it all morning when I went to my doctor's appointment in my ear while I was doing other things. And you're never too old to learn, you're never too old to gather more knowledge. And I think you have to remember, when you're green, you're growing, when you're ripe, you're rotten. So when you're green, you're growing, you're gathering new information, you're putting things in your path, you're doing things differently than maybe you wouldn't be doing any longer. So I love to learn new things and figure out new things. So it's a path, it's a journey, an adventure.
Absolutely. Lisa, would you like to add anything into this? Are you able to?
Yeah, I am. I love what you said, Renee, about, really sharing things that move people forward. That is actually the mark of a really good mentor and life coach. And there is a difference between being a life coach and then, being someone that's a therapist. I think therapy sometimes has this ability to bring up or dredge up a lot of the past. But I think life coaching really does take you forward in your life. And not that there's not purpose in both, because there is. I believe there is definitely purpose in both. But I love this theme that you're talking about, what what you don't know. You know what you know, and then there's all this other stuff that you don't know. And I love to share things that elevate people's mood. And I think I probably got that from you, Renee, because you're my mentor.
Yeah.
And you've taught us about the power of the positive knot. You've taught us about sales and marketing, and I think that naturally aligns with mood. And I've realized that in helping people to elevate their mood has been a complete game changer just in my overall life, which I think is why I gravitated even towards wanting to help women elevate their mood with regard to menopause, because it is a real symptom. And, this is a show that advocates for women that are in menopause. And, I'm 52 years old. I still get my cycle. I'm still in that season, hoping that I'm going to have it forever. Every time I have it, I'm like, yes, the estrogen is coming in. And I think that elevates my mood just naturally. But I think there's also other things that we can do with our own mindset, with different supplements, products that we take. I think truth telling and being authentic is also a way to elevate our mood. So I think there's a lot we can do with regard to elevating our mood, even the people that we're surround ourselves with. I mean, if we surround ourselves around people that are complaining all the time and negative and just dream stillers, time stillers, energy vampires, our mood is going to go down.
Right.
But if we surround ourselves around women that genuinely want to empower women, uplift them, inspire them, pray for them, then your mood is naturally going to go up. And so I would say there's a lot of different ways to get your mood elevated. Continue to do things that you love, you know, and wrap your mind around things that make you happy and joy filled, and then just do more of that. And ladies, if you're listening, or gentlemen, you're listening in today too, we give you permission to do that. You know, if you feel like you need permission today to just have a good mood and be in a good mood, we release you to be in a good mood and to, just be positive, that it's okay to do that. You know, a lot of people will say, well, Lisa, you know, I said to my mom last week, I said, Mom, I know that I make things look easy. You know, the loss of my son, the loss of my business, my house, you know, I've lost so much this last year. And I know I make it look easy, you know, when I just moved from Vegas to California, and it's a big step of faith for me, and probably one of the biggest steps of faith I've ever taken in my life. And I know that sometimes I make things look easy, but again, it's because of Renee's mentorship on having a positive attitude and always looking, I guess, at the bright side of things and the sunny side of things. And I think that when we go into all of our circumstances that way, and we know that everything is always working together for our good, and surrendering to that process, it can naturally elevate our mood because we're not worried. You know, we're not stuck in the grief. We're not stuck in the disappointment. We're not stuck in the frustration of even going through menopause with over 80 symptoms. And I would imagine that I'm perimenopausal, even though I'm getting my cycle still. I would imagine that I'm still perimenopausal because of my age. And it's a real challenge at times. And I think that safe spaces and communities like this help a great deal.
Well, as you're saying that, Lisa, something popped into my head. When we're talking about menopause and you don't know what you don't know, look at all the women that are exposed to going through menopause in all the different stages, and they have no idea what's happening to their body. You know, it has been not talked about for so long that even they don't, you know, doctors don't even want to discuss it with their patients. It's crazy, totally crazy. So if we don't know what we don't know about that, then let's step up and get some education about it. We know that mood swings are a part of it. We know lack of libido. We know vaginal dryness. We know weight gain, muscle loss, bone density changes, so many different things, like I said, over 80 symptoms. And when that's going on, and we're talking about you don't know what you don't know, okay, so plug in some place where you can get the information to help make a change. Because making a change, heart palpitations, Darlene just shared, so many things that people don't know. I know Oprah had done a piece that Darlene has shared on some of her podcast shows, and about the fact that she didn't understand that the heart palpitation she was having was related to menopause. So many things that, you know, are out there that we can find out. In that sense, we don't know what we don't know. Okay, so let's share. Let's find out. If you're having a challenge in one of those areas, you know, step up, call our 800 number. We're happy to talk to you, call or text anytime and be able to share that. Again, that number is 877-776-3985. And get in our group so that we can also make sure that you have the information that you need to know about the things that you want to know about, and keep growing. Do it in a positive manner. You know, you can look at, which next week we're going to be talking about confidence, and more about this. Focus on what you focus on expands. But it's knowing that, let's say you're having a terrible mood with your partner, you're having a terrible mood with your kids and people around you. you can do something about that. When you change what you do and change what you think, you change the outcome.
Right.
So, let's be information based and let's be positive at the same time so that as we're going through some of those process, it keeps us lifted up and moving forward in a way that works for us instead of a way that doesn't.
Right, right. You know what? And menopause it's a natural stage. It's marked by the cessation of, your menstruation, but bodily and emotional changes. It often brings up these issues, but it's not fully understood. It's varying significantly among individuals, and it's influenced by factors like race, socioeconomic background, lifestyles. Also other common symptoms, yeah, we know the night sweats, the hot flashes, the mood changes, they're widely recognized. And the full scope of how hormone fluctuations impact your body as well. It's including in the increased risk for your heart disease, osteoporosis, vaginal dryness, and the less commonly known issues. But what you might not know about menopause is the varying symptoms and experiences. Because, while hot flashes and night sweats are common, symptoms can range wildly and include anxiety, insomnia, changes in your libido, brain fog, joint pain, skin changes. I've noticed, the dryness in my skin, the intensity and the frequency of symptoms. They can also offer different things based on your race and ethnicity as well. Especially with Black women, for example, supposedly experiencing more intense hot flashes and increased risks of hysterectomies. And they can also induce earlier menopause. And you know what? It's also come up. I've noticed a lot of younger women are turning to hysterectomies, or they have these fibroid tumors that are, getting larger and larger by the minute. So, there are long-term health implications as well, because, your menopause, menopause increases the risk of certain health conditions beyond the immediate, the immediate symptoms. Oh my God.
Well, the skin changes due to lack of hormones as well. Darlene was just typed in the chat, and so true. So if we're not on top of our hormones and what we can do to help that make such a difference, then there's another challenge as well.
Yes, but you know what? Urinary tract infections. I know you were experiencing a lot of those. So, the difference, I guess that's a difference in your hormones and whatnot. And then even men are coming across urinary tract infections. That's not supposed to happen, even though, that's their andropause. But, we stick with the menopause and such. But you know what? There's still the importance of communication as well. When you have open communication with, healthcare providers, family, friends, who other women who've also experienced menopause. I happen to surround myself with happy, positive people, and I've learned that from you from day one. And like, I'm not reinventing the wheel, and I always, for as long as I can remember, mirrored what you've done in saying, I am awesome and I'm getting better all the time. Anytime you ask me, even if I'm having a bad day, I say, I am awesome. You're giving yourself that acknowledgement. I am awesome. I am fantastic. I am wealthy. I am a millionaire. I am grateful. It's just keeping those happy, positive people around you to lift you up, even when you're not feeling well. Because I'll tell you what, if you talk to someone and what you don't know, you don't know. It's just someone's sad and they say, well, how are you doing? I'm awesome. I'm getting better all the time. It changes them instantly.
Absolutely.
So,
Number one, their brain just goes kaboom when you say
yeah,
awesome, because nobody says awesome. They say,
right.
oh, I'm fine or whatever. But when you say awesome or even getting better all the time, it
Yeah,
makes your brain search for getting better all the time and for
yeah.
being awesome. Well, also the person that hears it is affected by that.
Mhm.
So words are things, thoughts and words are things that we need
Yeah.
to pay attention to. So, just be very cautious about what you're feeding your brain and your self-talk because it affects us immensely.
Yes.
And then also the power of the positive nod.
Yep. All
Remember,
the time.
absolutely get the response that you want from people.
Yep.
Make sure you're using the power of the positive nod at the same time.
You know what? Even when you could be walking down the street, even when you smile at someone, you know what? They're you smiling, and they're almost like, "Oh, okay, let's smile." But like, well, let's touch a little bit on the Dunning-Kruger effect. So it suggests that those with low competence in a particular area are often unaware of their own lack of skill because they lack the knowledge to recognize the shortcomings. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Miss Renee?
Yeah, that's so true. I find in talking with people lots of times if they feel like they're have some kind of expertise in an area and they really don't have a clue, it usually shines through pretty clear, but that does kind of give you a idea of their personality as well. It kind of proves that some people, even if they don't know what they don't know, they make it up as they go along, and that's probably not the best solution to getting good results. But for some people, they just don't understand that maybe a little research or a little previous information might help change the situation so they sound more competent. I mean, and maybe present a little bit more positive in what they're doing. And that doesn't always happen for sure.
Yeah. It's funny how they can lead to underestimating their abilities. Lisa, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I was going to say, with regard to that, with the confidence piece and our topic today, see, knowledge breeds confidence. So the more knowledgeable you become on any subject, the more confident you'll show up in life. So you'll be more fluid even in your own conversations around whatever subjects that you're talking about. And I've noticed that we've gotten more knowledgeable and we've had different guests on that we see even with their knowledge, they're very confident because they know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So true. And it's so funny because you talk about the fact you want to keep your cycle for the rest of your life. I have to tell you, myself and many of my friends were never so happy to see that leave for good. And I stopped having mine when I was 33 years old, and I have no regrets.
I was 36 with no regrets.
That's because they don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Menopause and what it really means.
Right.
Where the rest of us, we were like, we didn't know anything. So we were like, yeah, I don't want to have a cycle anymore. There's women that literally take drugs to stop their cycle.
Yeah.
They have no idea what they're doing to their body. I'm sorry, that's it for me.
or even women that overexercise and athletes. That will happen many times to changing their hormones when they're overexercising or overproducing, different things in their body, different levels of things change when you're doing heavy exercise and weight training and all these different things. And lots of times that will affect, we see that in gymnasts all the time. And I was a swimmer. I've always been a swimmer, but I was a competitive swimmer in high school at 400 pounds. And if you don't think that wasn't interesting, being a super big girl in a swimming pool, in a tank outfit, swimming fast and beating everybody's butt, because when you're big, you have so much body fat that you can float on top, and as long as you can move your arms and your legs. I think they were shocked. I think I won because they couldn't believe that I could beat them. I don't know. It was crazy, but I'm so glad that I decided to get healthy 20 years ago and make that huge change because I never minded being a big girl. That didn't bother me at all. But when it started affecting my health, when it bothered me. So,
Renee, we all have a visual of that, but I do not want to skim over the fact that Darlene just said that women actually take medication to stop their cycle. Okay, what is that all about? Because I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, no, it's true. They have, I don't know exactly know what it is. And birth control, there's certain birth control pills that can stop them from their cycles. A lot of the athletes, like Renee that you mentioned, they will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I was never looked into, but I've heard many women over the years tell me they were taking something so that they didn't have a cycle anymore.
Yeah. And there, and just the convenience of not having your cycle anymore is, I think, what's attractive. The fact that your hormones are not functioning the same, that's not the attractive part of not having your cycle any longer. But, but there's a hormone, optimization therapy that we can do that's different today compared to hormone replacement therapy that people were, seeking out before. So a lot of better choices today than we've had in the past. So we're excited about that too.
Yeah, and Angie, she says she really needed this today. So we love hearing from our followers that, they need this conversation. And I'll tell you what, you don't want to miss out because you know what? It's live. So we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, right. I think that's interesting what you ladies were saying though, really quick. I want to, Renee, because that's important what you just said about, I'm a woman that is somehow, I don't know if it's PTSD just from hearing about all these women now. So now I'm like, I want to have my cycle for as long as possible because I'm like, I know that estrogen is coming in. I know that it's good and healthy.
Yeah.
And I know you were mentioning about the hormones. So I think that's what it is. I'm sort of attached to not to having it because I hear all of this stuff about not having it. So I think that's probably what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's all good. The topic of conversation is, what does this do? This gets us thinking about choices that we can make, looking up information, calling somebody that knows, sending somebody a message, pass it on and learn from each other. That's part of what community is all about. We can help each other out with our experiences.
Yeah. And you know what? You don't know what you don't know. Why does it even matter? It's a reminder to stay curious and humble. It keeps us open, learning and listening, and it helps us ask better questions instead of assuming we have all the answers. And I want to thank everybody for being here this afternoon. I hope you have a great week and an even better weekend. And I hope you're all awesome. Tune in with us next week. Our topic will be self-confidence, women and self-confidence. It's a deep conversation that we have. Ladies, Renee, Lisa, anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, just excited to be here today. And Lisa, safe travels on the road today.
Yes, thank you.
Please. And Veronica, I miss you. I miss Lisa. We were all together last week. So, again, we look for any opportunity we can all hang out. So it's great.
Now we have to take trips
see
to
you on the
California.
next call or the next podcast.
Yes.
All right. Lisa, you have anything else, honey? You have anything else, Lisa?
She's done.
Okay. Safe travels, everybody. Have a great day.